over the past week after the UPSC CSE results were announced. I've been talking to several toppers trying to see what their success story has been like, what have their struggles been like, how have they progressed in life, what has happened during the course of their journey. And I must also tell you that I've been a small part of this as well, because I've been mentoring several of those who have cleared UPSC CSE this time around and telling them what to do as far as their personality test is concerned, how they should go about interacting on that big day. And today I have another very special guest with me, Abhijit Ray, someone whom I closely interacted with during, of course, the course of the last couple of months. Spoke to him, and he has thanked me for my guidance, and that's what I'm really happy about. And I'm so glad to see that he has sailed through with such beautiful flying colors, secured All India rank 50 at the UPSC CSE 2021 with a big smile on his face as well right now. Abhijit Ray, welcome to Bharata First. Congratulations. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you and to see your name on the list. And I must say, I missed it. And you reached out to me. So that also shows your integrity and where you come from. And it's wonderful to know that you still remember those small little things and you indeed reached out to me. I'm so very happy and so very proud of you, Abhijit.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on this show, and it's an honor to talk to you also, sir. I mean, like you mentioned, you had mentored us as part of the interview guidance, and your words were very encouraging. In fact, they helped me have that positive attitude, and in fact, keeping that smile, like you keep saying, in the actual interview as well. So it was a great experience, and I'm very, very, very glad to be here.
So let's start with that first then, Abhijit. So
yes,
how much did you secure in your personality test? If you can tell us that.
So I got 194.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? Almost at the 200 barrier. So how did the personality test go? How did the interview go? Was it anything out of the ordinary for you? Did you think that it went on expected lines? How was it? Take us through that experience.
So it started on expected lines. Smita Nagraj ma'am was my board chairperson. So she, of course, made us very cordial. And then I had been made to understand earlier through some of the mocks that if the interview delves early on into the opinion-based questions, which normally are difficult, then it's going on the right direction, because they want to test your opinion. They don't want the factual stuff. And that is exactly what happened. So you asked me if any unconventional things happen. I can remember three small. I'll just briefly tell you. First one, I had the privilege of reciting my own poem on the civil services. So that they really liked it. Because it was on the life of a civil servant. The second thing, sir, was that they asked me a question about how India should improve its export of spices, which I started by saying that India should do two things that come to my mind. And then I said the first point very nicely. And then the second point, when I said, so the second thing is, then I went blank for 10 seconds. And then they had a good laugh about it. So, I mean, I kept cool in that. So that also helped me sail through. And so the third thing is that the power of observation that is required in daily life. They asked me where I'm staying in Delhi, because I'm from West Bengal. I said, I'm staying in this place, Haley Road. There is a West Bengal State Guest House. So they asked me, one of the gentlemen, he asked me that, so what is special in Haley Road? Any other building is there? So I had coincidentally observed while early days, while traveling, that there is a embassy of Iran on that road. So that I said, and he got very happy. I had a guess that he probably was a retired IFS person. So, I mean, these are the three things that stand out from my interview. Overall, it was a great experience. Normally, the interview goes for around 25-30 minutes. Mine went on for 50 minutes. So it was a great experience, absolutely.
So it was a fun conversation. I keep telling all of you, the best thing that you need to do is leave all your inhibitions behind, go there and have fun at the end of the day, because
absolutely.
It's not every day that you get to do something like this.
To talk with such people. Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely right. And that's what you also advised me in the mock interview as well.
So
that you were part of, right?
Absolutely. So Abhijit, one of the things that we spoke about as well, I knew when I met you itself, when we interacted for those brief 25-30 minutes, that you are a top-notch candidate and you're going to do very well. And I even stuck my neck on the line and I said that you will possibly get close to 200. And that's where you almost reached. And I'm so very happy. I hope it was of some help.
Of course, it was of much help, not some. Uh, Actually, you said that you said some of the things about how to tackle some tricky questions about the state where I belong, and the climate there, the political climate there, and then even to keep a positive demeanor, and to sort of try to predict some tricky topics in my own field. There were some questions that you asked which I could not answer, which I later on went and studied. So because of that, I had to read about some extra things, then I got to know. So it was an overall great experience. And then you topped it off by being very like supportive and positive about my feedback. So overall, it was a very encouraging experience, sir, I would say.
Very good. Lovely to hear that. And I'm so very happy. I'm so very happy because at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to see myself doing as well, mentoring some of the youngsters in the best way possible. And you seem like a very, uh, great guy with a wonderful, stable head on your shoulders. And I know that you can do wonderful things going forward as well. Talking about wonderful things going forward, uh, not getting into departments, not getting into areas where you need to talk, but as far as you are concerned, Abhijit, what are some things when you look at public service that are close to your heart? For some of them it could be women empowerment, for somebody else it could be poverty alleviation. What is it for Abhijit?
So it actually is women empowerment, the first thing that you said. And I believe that the second thing that you said, poverty alleviation, that has very, very close ties with women empowerment. So I am of the strong belief, and I have seen some lectures of some economists as well as read some books. And I'm convinced that if we do this women empowerment thing right, or even better than what we are doing, then health, education, and poverty alleviation in a sweep will get improved, because the forward and backward linkages of this is much, much greater than any other sector of our social I would say the horizon. So women empowerment is something that is very, very close to me.
Wonderful. Good to know. Good to know.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Now let's talk about your journey, Abhijit. How has the
Yes, sir.
journey been like, the whole UPSC CSE journey? Take us through that, because it's not one person's struggle. It is
Absolutely.
how the others around that person take him along or take her along also that matters.
Yes, sir. I mean, this is such a long marathon thing that the support system becomes very, very critical, because there will be ups, there will be downs, there will be more downs than there will be ups, actually. My journey was a little long, but this was my fourth attempt. I would say my second serious attempt, because the first two attempts I was doing a job and I could not prepare very well. At that time, I thought that I was doing a good enough job, but knowing what I know now, I knew that I had overestimated myself and underestimated the UPSC per se. So it has been a long journey. The first two times I could not clear prelims. This time I got a very good rank. Last time I could not clear mains because of the optional. I worked very, very hard in optional in the period between 2020 and 2021 attempt. So it was an extremely enlightening journey, I would say, because the person that I have been transformed into, what I was in 2018 versus what I am now, is completely is more balanced, is more positive looking, is I would say a better version of myself. And that's what I think also like to like help the viewers understand, is that this is a process. The process is more important than the result. And the process, if it is enjoyed, then you transform yourself also. And the transformation is always in a positive direction, because UPSC extracts the best out of you. And these things that you get in this journey is something that you're going to treasure and you're going to use and utilize through your entire life, be it in civil service or be it outside. And sir, also I would like to add that I like even if I could not clear this exam or whatever would have happened, the top I would say the icing on the cake in this entire journey would be the people that I met in the last few months in the course of the mock interview preparation. For example, of course, people like you, very, very reputed journalists like yourself, then ex-Chief Election Commissioner Mr. S.Y. Qureshi, people like these. Then Mr. Vikas Swarup, who's written this book, which has become the movie Slumdog Millionaire. So, I mean, it's been a great experience, sir. I mean, there is no regrets. I have tried to ensure that I've not made the same mistake twice, but I've made a lot of mistakes though. But same mistake twice has not happened. So I'm very, very happy, and I'm glad that it has actually worked out eventually.
So lovely to hear this. So humble, after achieving your dream as well. Normally, people tend to get a little, cocky. People tend to get a little snarky and all of that, but none of that there in your heart or in your mind. It's wonderful to see the humility in which
Thank you.
you carry yourself. And I know that this humility is what is going to take you a long way in doing great service and justice to this nation and the people of this country as well, Abhijit. I'm
Thank you,
very,
sir.
very sure that you'll be a wonderful officer who will make us all proud.
Thank you, sir.
Abhijit, what did you do differently? Let's say you said 4 attempts. Let's negate the first two because you said you were not serious. That was
Yes,
difficult.
sir.
Between the third and the fourth attempt, what was different that made you ensure that you reached in the top 50?
I realized that writing optional, to get a little technical, right? So writing optional papers is not the same as writing general studies papers. I was under the false impression that if you write in a generalist sort of a way in the optional papers, you're going to sail through or get at least 120, 130 sort of marks, but you're not. You have to write like an expert. And since anthropology was something new to me, so I had to work extra hard. And that something snapped inside me after not doing well in anthropology but doing very well in the GS papers in my 2020 attempt, that I threw away my previous notes, made notes from scratch for anthropology, and I studied from multiple sources, condensed my notes and revised and practiced. You asked what I did differently. I would say I focused more on revision and practice and getting out of that note making cycle. In the 3 months before mains and after prelims, I almost 95% of my time was revision and practice, sir. I think there is no other way, because mains is all about answer writing, and answer writing can only be improved if you revise and practice. I would say, to conclude what I did differently, I focused a lot on revision and practice.
I'm sure there would have been some lows as well in this journey. You seem like a very positive young man. You take life in its stride. It's wonderful. It's a very good quality to have. But I'm sure there have been some lows as well. How did you overcome those lows?
Uh, uh, Through a combination of factors, belief in myself, belief that maybe I'm not yet giving my best yet. The best is yet to come, and of course a support system that is there, that has been instrumental or indispensable, and I'm very honored and I would say fortunate to have such a exceptional support in the form of parents, my friends, my even people in my office. My manager, he knew from the start that I'm doing this. In fact, he's one of the reasons that I wanted to be a civil servant, because he's into social service. And I did a lot of CSR activity in Karnataka. I traveled a lot of areas of Karnataka, and I did social service. So that rubbed off on me. My father is in medical administration, so he has always supported me. So the lows has been managed by the safety net of the support system, and the belief that if I go down, I'll have to go down fighting. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to go down just like that. One of the greatest fears that I have is mediocrity, and I tried very, very hard to come out of it. So I think that zeal also did help me.
Good to know. Good to know. Abhijit, tell us something about your sources of information. What would you say that this is what helped me during the course of my preparation and during the course of the journey?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, I could not catch you.
No, I was saying,
yes, sir.
Take us through your sources of materials that were used for study, something that you feel that you did differently that others also should do, that may possibly help them along the way.
So about this sources thing, I have this belief that you work very, very hard initially to study from good relevant sources. That can be multiple sources, but work very, very hard to clear that excellent notes, then come out of this source gathering and note making cycle and get into the revision and practice cycle fast and spend most of your time there. But to answer your question, something different that I did in the sources is I studied from, there is a reason why the conventional wisdom prevails over the long run, because it is helpful, especially for static subjects, the old NCRTs, then spectrum and all these things. So I had integrated notes for prelims and mains that I prepared, and in this last 2 attempts, I have not, for GS1 at least, I have not referred to any book. It's just my notes that has been made from let's say the old NCRTs, the new NCRTs, the spectrum books, just to broadly tell you. Then for geography, it is the NCRTs for the diagrams and everything. And there is, of course, YouTube lectures as well for here and there, value addition. I focused on value addition, for example, diagrams or memorizing the introduction and conclusions. These are the things that set the answer apart from other people. Just as an example, sir, I can tell you that in my first, in the GS1 paper this year, there were 3 or 4 questions that I could not answer, but I got around 113 marks, which is a very high, one of the highest marks this time. So what I did differently over there is I made a lot of maps and diagrams, almost 10 Indian maps and 4 world maps to explain each and everything. I believe this is a skill that comes in very handy, the ability to make the maps in around 10 seconds. Small things. Again, like my father keeps telling me that success is a lot of small things done very well. And that is very true, sir. That is very true. So I would say that, yeah.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, Abhijit,
Yes, sir.
anything that you would like to say to youngsters who would like to follow in your footsteps? This is a dream for several lakhs of individuals from across the country. Lakhs of them write
Yes,
the
sir.
exam every year as well. What would you like to say to them?
So I'd like to say that firstly, have a very clear idea why you want to join the civil services, because that clarity in your mind will give you the motivation and inspiration in the sustainable format, because this won't be a small journey. Even if you crack it in the first attempt, you would have given 2 years previously before that in preparing yourself. So for the lows, you need that motivation of clarity, that why you want to join the civil services. And only when it's a positive humanistic sort of a reason, only then I have seen that people sustain themselves even in service as well as in preparation. So have it from a positive perspective. Secondly, limit your sources, work very hard for making your notes, focus more on answer writing and practice for prelims on the mock test. Yes, for prelims mock test, try to find prelims mock tests that are standard for UPSC. I mean that are on at par with UPSC standard. There are many places where it is claimed that they are good, but actually it's not UPSC standard. So go by some conventional wisdom, or talk to some seniors. I have a Telegram channel where I have put all my notes publicly, everything A to Z, and I put all my this one my strategy, everything is there. So I'm going to start doing for mains also. Prelims I have done, so I can stand by my GS1 notes. They are very good, made over a long time with a lot of hard work. So I would really suggest that you take use of them. And these are the things that I would suggest. And obviously, one last thing that I would say is be positive. But one thing I think that a lot of us miss out is what happens if we don't clear it, because 99% of you will not clear this exam. But that does not mean that it's the end of the world. Civil services as a career may be good, but it had its own challenges, own negative things also. And it's not the only thing in the world. There are many areas where you will blossom, because if you have started civil service seriously, then that means there is something in you. You are already a winner. So don't lose heart. When if this journey doesn't work out for you, you may be destined for even greater things. Unfortunately, we see some incidents in the recent past about people succumbing to this depression. So that is something negativity that we should all avoid. I think that's something that's very less talked about, but it's very important in such an exam. So yeah, these would be my I would say closing lines on my journey, sir.
Wonderful to hear that. Very happy to have you here on the program. Very happy to see, the maturity in such a young man. You seem to be far more mature than your years, and I think this will hold you in great stead and take you really far as service to the nation is concerned. I'm so very proud of you, Abhijit. I'm so happy, and I'd like to meet
Thank
you
you,
in
sir.
person once again sometime soon, whenever we can. We'll leave that, of course, up to God
Sure,
and
sir.
chance. Whenever that happens, it will be a great meeting. But thank you for being
Absolutely,
here.
sir.
And I wish you the very best. Anytime that you need someone to speak to, anytime you need, someone to just reflect some ideas, I'm always available. You can always do that, and I'm always there. All right,
Absolutely.
just
Thank
drop
you,
me a
sir.
text or drop me a line.
Sure, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful having you here, Abhijit. I wish you the
Thank you,
very
sir.
best. Do us all proud.
I wish Bharata First also the very best, and may you yourself and Bharata First as a channel continue helping students and spreading positivity, which I have seen you do over the years, sir. So I think it's a great thing that you people do, and the support that you have given me and the encouragement that you have given me is also one of the big reasons why I'm here today, sir. So I'm really honored, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me here.
Very, very
Thank you,
kind
sir.
of you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
sir.
Well, that was, of course, Abhijit Ray talking about his journey as far as the UPSC CSE 2021 is concerned, how he has gone through cracking one of the toughest exams ever possible, scoring 194 in the personality test as well. A wonderful achievement by this young man who has a bright future ahead of him. And before I go, of course, I'd like to share something with you, a note for you to take forward, because we've been helping all of you all along. Here it is. Cracking UPSC CSE is like running a marathon. To get across the line, you need the right guide and training partner. Look no further than Bharata First Knowledge Center, your one-stop destination for all your competitive exams needs. Classes by the best names and subject matter experts in the field. Courses designed to address all aspects of the challenges at hand. Highly affordable courses priced at less than 150 rupees. Register now at kc.bharatafirst.com or download the Bharata First app now. Avail discounts of over 90%. Happy learning. That's it. So that's the message from me as well. Log in to kc.bharatafirst.com or download the Bharata First app and make use of the offerings that we have there. Massive discounts at the moment. You can be one of those who have cleared UPSC CSE just like Abhijit Ray. Just log in, make use of the services that we have, and I'm sure that you will flourish and go a long way. That's it from me for now. Until next time, this is Frankrausanpereira signing off.